Oh, we're going round, look at it, Oh, hammer bam. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Boeing 737. We're here today in xPlane and Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. We're departing out of Bermuda, and originally I was going to go hunting for the hurricane. Unfortunately, it left a little to be desired. So instead what I decided to do in this study level aircraft is do a maneuver called the hammer. And let's begin what can only be described as the initial descent.
Bank angle, bank angle, bank angle. Bank angle, bank angle.
Airspeed low, airspeed low. Airspeed low, airspeed low.
Caution, terrain.
But you know what, let's just try it. Is go up to the vertical, and at least in the jets, when it starts to drop through around 150 knots, what I'll do, although I do have access to afterburners, I'll split the throttles, I'll stand on the rudder, and you can get it to do a nice hammer in the sky. Very much like a tail slide, except you never actually slide, you just continue round. It's going to be very difficult to do. We're running out of speed. I know it's not quite vertical, but it's pretty close. There's 150, so I'm standing on left rudder. I've shut off
Airspeed low.
the power on the left. Oh, we're going round, look at it. Oh, hammer bam. I never considered that was that. Oh my goodness, look at that, perfect. Like, didn't spin out or anything, didn't slice through. That was honestly my first attempt at a hammer in the PMDG, and it was perfect. Let's try that again. Forget the barber pole here.
Pull up. Terrain, pull up.
Standby instrumentation, they're having a bit of trouble keeping up with us, but it's fine. Right, so we've got full power on both. There's 70 degrees, we lose it, and we're about vertical about there. Falling through 200 knots, one last check on the horizon, 3, 2, 1. Now left boot in, close in the right engine, stick over to the right.
Airspeed low.
Pushing the nose forwards.
Positive rate of climb.
Slicing through, lost the wing a little bit that time, opposite engines a bit to catch it on the way down so it don't swing through like a pendulum. We did it. Alright, so we're about ready to go here from Bermuda in xPlane. We're also in the Southwest 7-3. Let's go for it. No takeoff warning, so it can't have been that bad. Togas is on. Oh, there's a lot of crosswind. Left boot once again. Right, first big difference I've noticed versus Flight Sim. I'm having to roll into the crosswind. Didn't have to do that on Flight Sim 2020. Similar amount of rudder. xPlane rudder is slightly more effective at the high speed. Letting go.
Positive rate.
Aircraft cocks into the wind. Kind of similar. Again, in xPlane there's just a bit more inertia as it swings. But otherwise pretty similar.
400.
Autopilot next. Engine start switches are on continuous. Fuel pumps are on. Just gonna nose down slightly to get a bit of speed. Don't have track AR in xPlane enabled, so we'll be having to look left. Alright, let's go. First thing I'll just note and say, the pitching is much smoother in xPlane. There are these weird sort of speeds where all of a sudden it seems to stop.
Bank angle.
Alright, there's 150, full left rudder. Chop in the left engine. And the asymmetric thrust is wanting to throw it over. but not too bad. Opposite power now so we don't slice through. And yeah, that, I have to say that behaved overall quite similar, certainly after it sliced through. I'm aware we're operating basically outside the edge of the envelope here. And, oh, look at the engines. We've got red there in xPlane, but I didn't see red in Flight Sim. Let's try that one more time. We'll go to the right this time. And so up we go. So we're about vertical now, 190, 180, 70, 60, 50, chop in 2. Bit of power. Yeah, you just have to let go of the asymmetric thrust as you slice through an xPlane so that it don't spin off the back. One advantage, of course, we have in xPlane is that we can have a nice replay. Okay, well, here she is. She starts with the dive. We'll take a look at the left passenger window. Just ignore this replay banner. The thing is, if I get rid of it, I have to then completely reload the replay to change it, which is annoying. So I'll just leave it on there. So here we are climbing up to the vertical. And there we are with the turn. Can't actually see very much at this point. Let's pause, other than the sky. Yeah, so this was the thing. So we were up to the vertical, we did the same thing, and we used the same speeds in Flight Sim. So must be there left. So if I just pause and allowed show, full left rudder went in. No, I didn't feed it in gradually. I was just literally stomped on the left rudder. And at the same time, I just cut the engine number 1 there, the left-hand engine, to get it to yaw round to the left. And so there you see, goes incredibly well. Now this is, I've never done this in a big jet, only in propeller aircraft. When you go through, you've got to roll the stick to the right, and you see that's what we're trying to do. That's why the spoilers have gone up on the right wing. Now in Flight Sim 2020, that was enough to stop the aircraft rolling over the 90 degrees. In xPlane, it was not, and I found that this roll was getting worse and worse and worse. The only way I could limit it, unlike in Flight Sim, was by reducing engine number 2. In Flight Sim, I didn't have to do that until I was well through the 90. So let's continue. I did figure it out, and that's why at this point that was like as bad as the roll got. As you see, I wanted to be perpendicular, which would be up down with the wings to the horizon. You can see here I'm about 20 if not 30 degrees past or further than I'd want to be for the perfect move. So we go down, and as I'm sort of through about, I don't know exactly, but I'm just going to want to say 45 degrees nose down, I am now adding more power on engine number 1 and reducing power on engine number 2 to prevent the inertia of the nose from slicing through the vertical and coming back up the other side, which could potentially make for a very ugly recovery. So again, by adding power on here, reducing here, the plan is that. And there you see it. So if we go normal, the nose goes down, but then doesn't go too far. Again, I'm cushioning it here, and if anything, you see it goes up a little bit by a degree or 2. That's just the asymmetric thrust. It did not slice through and pendulum back and forth. So I'm really happy with that. Again, this is a lot easier to get quote-unquote right than it was in DCS. And again, normally I'm only doing this with jet fighters in DCS. Again, you need the 2 afterburner, you need the 2 separate engines, so when you've got very little or no airspeed, you've got that basically thrust vectoring capability by just yawing left or right. And so there's the recovery. Let's view it from this angle this time, stuck to the back of the plane. We'll We'll go there. So there we go, up to the vertical. And I think we're coming this way now, to the right. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Beautiful. And there's the turn to the right. We'll just leave it playing through. And so again, the left engine continues to power through. The right engine's brought back to idle. We stand on the right rudder. Nose comes through the horizon. At this point, I'm splitting the engines the other way. And there you see we did spin out, unfortunately, on that one slightly, or we rolled off. But it didn't develop. It was just... it was less than 90 degrees of loss of control, which is a lot more forgiving than I would expect it to be in real life. Obviously, with this amount of weight falling through the sky, we pick up airspeed again pretty quickly. Let's watch this view. This is a static camera, there you see. So the plane ever so slightly falls sideways but never goes backwards, and there it is, dropping out the sky, entering back into gravity. Together with the engines working together, we get laminar airflow back, and if we zoom in, it accelerates, and there we see it already pulling out the dive. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoy that one, and until next time, wherever in the world you may be, from here, Internet Flight Rules, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Take care. Bye-bye.